and the offense of the Dolphins with this quote. That 2019 offense with the Chiefs was stupid. When I go out to practice each and every day, like I said, I see the same exact team. I swear, as far as explosion, as far as dynamic, we have the same weapons, maybe even more. I'm not making this up. Like our running back runs a 4.2, meaning a 4.2 second 40-yard dash, and that's crazy. It's a whole track meet back there. And when you add Mike McDaniel into calling plays, I know Andy Reid is great. But when you add McDaniel, it's crazy. The way he dials up plays and his play calling timing, I don't even know what to say. It's just crazy, end quote. I'm just going to leave it right there.
That sounds like something somebody would say on the podcast.
What?
In the offseason.
That's a good point. You're right.
Just saying.
He got such an inner Draymond Green. He really did.
Yeah, I really don't know what Tyreek Hill is saying, though, Jay, to be honest with you.
That's what I'm saying. How are you going to compare Mike McDaniel to Big Red?
Well, it's not even comparing Mike McDaniel. What play call has Mike McDaniel even called for the Dolphins in 2022?
That's my point.
The season
he hasn't even called a play yet in the regular season.
The season hasn't started. So I don't. So what are you talking about, Tyreek?
I mean, Frank, I'm okay with somebody hyping up their team, building up their team, saying, look, I am a Super Bowl champion.
Now,
I understand, and we're going to start talking about ourselves this way. But when you start going out of pocket about, saying Mike McDaniel and Big Red in the same sentence, you lost me. You lost me.
On top of that,
this
is why Eric Bieniemy can't get a job. Because you're talking about Andy Reid dialing up plays and not Eric Bieniemy. So which one is it? Is Eric Bieniemy calling the damn plays, or is Andy Reid calling the plays? Tyreek, come on now. I get. Look, man.
I wish people could see the frustration on Keyshawn's face hearing this from somebody who is playing his position.
But though, Key, I get it, but I kind of like it though. Right, because I kind of feel like for T. Hill, and I'm not agreeing with it, but there's a part of me that likes it because there is something to prove, and there is a chip on this dude's shoulder, and there's a chip on Tua's shoulder, and how will he handle that? So sometimes it's like, as a teammate, it may not sound rational to the public because maybe it doesn't make sense, but internally to your locker room, it's like, yo, I'm a ride or die kind of dude.
Hey, Jay.
Yeah, I tried. Yeah, it didn't work. Okay.
No, I heard
because not even to your locker room does it make sense, because they're not stupid. Okay, they're not stupid. Tyreek Hill to Tyreek Hill in 2019. Tua and Patrick Mahomes in 2019 to 2022. Kelsey, what is it? How do you say it? Gesicki?
Mike Gesicki.
Yeah.
But Gesicki the tight end. Nice tight end, Gesicki is, but it's Travis damn Kelsey.
I hear you, but I didn't take that.
Jalen Waddle averaged like 9 yards a catch.
He's gonna keep going down the list.
Oh, he is.
Compared to Sammy Watkins. Stop.
But Key, I didn't feel like he was saying that their offense is going to be better than Kansas City. I just feel like he was trying to instill confidence in the weapons that this offense has in place.
Now, Jay, I'm going to ask.
Let's hear the sound again. Run it back.
I'm going to ask
Freddie
Coleman to read it to you again.
Okay, I'll read it. I'm not going to read like Tyreek Hill said it, but I'll read it. This is what he said. By the way, Keyshawn J. Will and Max on ESPN Radio and ESPN2. Tyreek Hill has not been shy in the offseason. This is what happens when you get your bag and you believe that you can be the leader of the team, because right now the Miami Dolphins don't have that leader. They don't have that leader quarterback. They got a brand-new head coach. So Tyreek Hill is taking it upon himself, in my opinion, that I'm leading this team. This is how I feel about Tua Tagovailoa, because he even said that Tua Tagovailoa not too long ago is as accurate or more accurate than Patrick Mahomes of Kansas City. So he goes from that, Jay.
But is that the leadership that the Miami Dolphins need?
No, this is not the leadership that they need. I'm saying that's what Tyreek Hill is doing, in my opinion.
Okay.
So he doubles down from that, where people looked at him cross-eyed saying, dude, really? Have you not seen these two play? Then he says this on his podcast. Kellerman, presented by Progressive Insurance on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, Sirius XM Channel 80, and ESPN2. We're doing top 7 wide receivers, Key, in new places. Your real rankings. The floor is yours.
Yeah, these new places and the real rankings of receivers that have gone from one team to the next, so that you understand the impact in which they would have on their new team in helping them try and reach their goal of getting to the Super Bowl. Number 7. Allen Robinson goes from Chicago to the Los Angeles Rams, replacing essentially OBJ and Robert Woods. This is a guy who had production at times in Chicago with limited quarterback play, much like Matthew Stafford. Stafford gives him an opportunity to really show his skill set along with Cooper Kupp.
Number 6.
Number 6 is Hollywood Brown. Sweet Hollywood goes from the Baltimore Ravens to the Arizona Cardinals and hooks back up with his college teammate in Kyler Murray. He will be an important part for the Arizona Cardinals if they want to make a stretch run in an early season favorite for the division, because DeAndre Hopkins, the first 6 games due to NFL suspension.
Number 5.
Number 5, an interesting one here, because he really does make a major impact, but as a whole, does the Miami Dolphins seem real to anybody? Tyreek Hill sits there for the Dolphins, losing Kansas City to go with a quarterback in Tua that a lot of individuals feel like this is his biggest opportunity to show he belongs. Ooh, look at that route. That he belongs as an NFL quarterback. In order for him to show that, he's going to have to make sure Tyreek Hill touches the ball early and often.
Number 4.
A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown, Pat, goes from the Tennessee Titans to the Philadelphia Eagles. As you can tell, the Eagles are trying their best to build around the quarterback of Jalen Hurts. Hurts, as a first-time, full-time starter, takes the Eagles into the playoffs. They never had a chance against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in that defense, although the young man in Jalen Hurts showed promise. Getting A.J. Brown certainly can help him and lift Eagle fan spirits moving forward.
Number 3.
This is easy for me. Yes, James, nepotism is alive and kicking. The New Orleans Saints go out and get Jarvis Landry at number 3, a dangerous inside slot receiver. If he can return back to form prior to injury and show us some of the things that he did early in Cleveland, also what he did with the Miami Dolphins, this could be good with Michael Thomas, because we know what Michael Thomas is going to give you.
Number 2.
Number 2, a sneaky trade that I'm surprised only the Cleveland Browns went all in on, acquiring Amari Cooper from the Dallas Cowboys. They now have a formidable receiver, losing OBJ, also losing Landry in free agency after cutting him. Trying to bring him back, it didn't work. They go out, they get Amari Cooper in a trade. Deshaun Watson has a big-time number 1 wide receiver, Pro Bowl guy. They got one in their hands that can certainly help this team get to the next steps, which is a deep run into the playoffs, and possibly, just possibly, depending on what happens with the quarterback of Deshaun Watson, a team that can make a real push for the Super Bowl.
Number 1.
And number 1 is Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams leaves the Green Bay Packers for the Las Vegas Raiders, and his former college teammate, much like Kyler Murray and Hollywood Brown, Devontae goes with Derek Carr to the Las Vegas Raiders, something he always wanted to do, turn down more money from the Green Bay Packers. So what does that tell you about him wanting to get away from Aaron Rodgers to get to his former teammate to help them certainly surprise a lot of people in the AFC West, including the Kansas City Chiefs, James?
Keys Real Rankings with Shade Throne involved are brought to you by Dell. For your small business needs, call a Dell Technologies advisor today at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Key, I wanted to ask you about one of my sleepers off your list, because I actually like your list. I was going to ask you about Robert Woods, because I feel like Robert Woods with the Tennessee Titans, and I know they have a predominantly run game, and I know that Ryan Tannehill, there's some question marks, and obviously losing A.J. Brown, but it still feels like Robert Woods is one of the most productive yet underrated wide receivers out there. You know, 1,000+ receiving yards in his last 3 fully healthy seasons in L.A. It just feels like he brings that kind of veteran leadership to the table for a team after missing a guy like A.J. Brown. Would he be somewhat around like that 8-9 range on your list?
Yeah, absolutely. But and he probably could have been on the actual top 7 list if he had gone into Tennessee healthy. We don't know when Woodsy's coming back. ACL injury, and so you figure mid-season at some point possibly. So his impact is going to be felt when he gets back, and it'll be felt why he's not there, because we don't really know what they're going to do from a receiver standpoint with a veteran guy like that sitting on the shelf. So he certainly fits into that changing of wide receiver to new places impact, no question about it.
You brought something, Jay, Will, in terms of Hollywood Brown going from the Ravens to the Cardinals. We talk about the impact the receivers are going to have with their new team. How about the old teams, where if you're Lamar Jackson playing for a new contract, Hollywood Brown is not going to be there. And I know they're not more of a wide receiver-based offense, Key and Jay, Will, because they throw to the tight ends more, they run the football more. But that guy could tilt the field that you're not going to have. For example, if you're a Lamar Jackson. Now, Tyreek Hill leaving the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes will find a way to make it work with anybody. Devontae Adams will affect Aaron Rodgers with Green Bay, but that one with Lamar Jackson not having Hollywood Brown, I wonder how much that's going to shake up that Baltimore Ravens offense just a little bit.
So I'm saying, Kean, last year we kept talking about Rashad Bateman, even though being a very young player, a rookie, right? Like he was supposed to have an impact on his team. I wonder what his impact will be this year. Because if you're Lamar Jackson, you're sitting there saying, wait, we don't have Hollywood Brown anymore. You know, who am I actually throwing the ball to?
Either Bateman or Devin Duvernay, one of those two, other than the tight ends.
Well, I would probably say because of their passing game, the play-action pass game gives the offense an opportunity for a receiver to slip behind the defenders. If you're running the ball as effective as Baltimore has been running the ball when they're healthy and Lamar is healthy, they're not a big, passing team, so to speak. A lot of their stuff is off play action, and it allows the defense to freeze so guys can slip behind them. Hollywood Brown, as far as the vertical stretch game, certainly will be missed, but maybe they're looking to fine-tune Lamar's skills in a more intermediate type situation instead of taking those shots down the field all the time. So it'll be interesting to see. I never try to get in the minds of offensive coordinators in the NFL because you never know what they're thinking.
No Juju, no Marquez Valdez-Scantling?
Well, Juju with the Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Of
As
course.
what?
Shocker,
Who knew that
James.
James was
As
playing for
what,
the Chiefs?
James? As what?
What do you mean? Making an impact in their new places. They're in Kansas City now. They're going to play with Patrick Mahomes. I mean, those guys aren't going to make an impact?
If you're going to sell it a lot better than that.
I'm
Stretching.
just asking. I'm asking.
It's all right. It's a good question.
He's not even responding.
MVS, I feel like MVS can make a huge
He
impact
just
this
would
year,
mute.
no?
He just hit the mute button on you.
So let me ask you this question, James. And I like the Kansas City Chiefs and Big Red and Patrick Mahomes. And, I've been supporting the Chiefs since day one. Are they better than Devontae Adams, Amari Cooper, Jarvis Landry, A.J. Brown, Tyreek Hill, Hollywood Brown, and Allen Robinson? Any of the ones that you just mentioned?
Maybe not better, but I think.
Okay, so
is Allen Robinson behind Cooper Kupp going to make as big an impact as like MVS or Juju in Kansas City? As like
they
one of those
will.
guys is going to be might be the number one receiver, not the number one target because that's Kelsey, but
no, you are right. You were right in that assessment, but Allen Robinson is a better wide receiver than those two combined. And when you look at it, he falls into a role that was occupied by Robert Woods after Robert Woods, OBJ. So he slides into that role. We saw what those guys was able to do for Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford. So there's a different impact. When you look at Kansas City, the guy is Kelsey. Let's not get it twisted. They're going to force feed Kelsey the football.
Yep.
So, I hate to say that till you, break the news to you.
No, you don't. You don't hate to say it.
you don't.
You know what we're
I
talking
feel
about.
like you took great joy in that.
He did at your expense. But he is right because Kansas City made the choice between Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill, and they chose Travis Kelce because guys like that don't grow on trees. Nothing against Tyreek Hill. That cheat has been unbelievable for Kansas City, but